Church, people in my life keep asking me what's wrong, and I'm going to tell you just like I told them. I don't know. I got problems. Maybe y'all got answers. Welcome to my first vlog. To all my returning church members and all my new family, welcomes. Let's hop on in. So I turned 34 last month. Happy birthday to me. Congratulations and all that jazz, okay? And look, before I get into this, I know I am blessed. I have a roof over my head. I have clothes on my body. I have a car to drive. I'm not hungry. I recognize all of the blessings that I have, okay? But y'all, ever since I turned 34, it just feels like, in the eternal words of Mary J. Blige, I'm going down, okay? And the thing about it is this. I've never really cared about birthdays as far as the age, okay? In the eternal words of my father, getting older is a blessing, okay? So bring all the ages on. I'm cool with it. But I think that 34 was a bit different for me because, it just feels like I'm not where I thought I would be at 34, my relationships don't seem to be working out as far as the romantic relationships. My family relationships are always up in some mess, okay? And then as far as the career thing, it just feels like I'm kind of in limbo in multiple aspects of my life, and I don't really know how to get out of it, One thing that I realized, and I don't know if this was just from turning 34, but I feel like I've been feeling it, for a while now. I've just been so angry all the time, okay? And I'm not usually a person, that gets angry. I'm very slow to anger. It takes a lot to get me upset. But I don't even know if I'm angry. More so, I'm irritable all of the time, okay? I'm just irritable. And the thing about me is this. I know that I have a very slick mouth, and I don't want to get myself into situations where I have to, or I'm forced to, or I feel like I need to hurt somebody's feelings to get them the hell up off me. So in order to not do that, I kind of retreat inside, okay? So people in my life have been noticing, oh, you're so much quieter lately. Believe me, okay? I'm quiet because I am protecting me from you, okay? Or maybe I got that backwards. I'm protecting you from me. I am. I feel like I am. I have to protect you from me because, like I told y'all, I got a slick mouth, and sometimes when you're trying to get people off of you, you're not as delicate, or your delivery is not as delicate as it could be, okay? So, I've just been trying to figure out what's wrong, and I think that more than anything, because multiple areas of my life just feel up in the air right now, I just feel like I can't find peace, right? I don't think there's any one aspect of my life that's kind of going well right now. I can't ever figure out my relationships, my, romantic relationships, my relationships with my family. It just feels like, it's only surface level and it's not underneath. My career as far as social media content creation, it's better than it was, but it's not where I want it to be. And I think 34 kind of summed it all up for me because, I always thought that when I got to my mid 30s, 34, 35, whatever the case may be, I would be more settled, right? I would be more settled. I would have the things that I want, or at least I'd be on the road to getting them. When 2024 started, I called this my year of abundance, okay? And I told my friend the other day, I said, baby, this was my year of abundance, but there is no abundance to be found, okay? And abundance doesn't always have to be material things. It could be, feeling successful, feeling like you're moving towards, the right path, feeling like you're, accomplished in some sense. And from the outside looking in, maybe people feel that about me, but honestly, I had a conversation with my mom around my birthday. And I was just like, everything that I have tried, it feels like I have failed. And before y'all start, I'm not dumping on myself because I do realize that I've had successes in my life, right? But it just feels like I'm the type of person who tries a whole bunch of things, but doesn't ever seem to succeed at any one thing, right? Like I've always felt like a jack of all trades and a master of none. When you see people like Beyonce or Adele or, LeBron James or, somebody in business, maybe Jeff Bezos, Amazon and stuff like that. When you see somebody at the pinnacle of their success, and you're enamored by them, it's because you're literally seeing them in their gift. You're seeing somebody operate in their gift, right? And I'm just trying to figure out, really, at 34, what my gift truly is, right? Because I can do a lot of things, but I feel like you need to do one thing extremely well, and then that can help, propel all the other things that you want to do. So that's really what I'm trying to do. As I've turned 34 and as I'm just trying to figure out my mental state and how to best go about it. So if y'all have any suggestions in terms of how to find my gift, how to move forward, how to stop being irritable, how to kind of put things in perspective and woosah, I would greatly appreciate it, okay? Second up on my docket, y'all, I've been running from my therapist for the better part of a month, okay? I told y'all I had problems, okay? So buckle up and hold tight. I've been running from my therapist for the better part of a month, okay? And do not get me wrong. I have been on this channel and in my personal life the biggest proponent of mental health, okay? I feel like mental health is so important. If you do not have your mental, you don't have anything, all right? I advocate for people getting therapists. I used to go to therapy once a week for a very, very long time. And, throughout the years, I've kind of fluctuated because, I don't think everybody needs to go to therapy once a week, every week. Find the schedule that fits you. But I feel like there's certain aspects or times in my life where I was at therapy more often and times where I was okay and I was healed and I didn't need it as much, right? But I think that my current therapist, I'm kind of torn as to whether or not his method is working for me. My past therapists have done a lot of emotional work, like how does this make you feel? Why are you feeling like this? What do you think from your past is causing you to act like this in your present? My current therapist truly feels that if I heal, if I get my business stuff in line, then everything else in my life will kind of fall into place. So, there's multiple ways to go about something. And when I first started with him, I thought that this would work for me. And I'm not saying it's not necessarily working. I'm just saying because he thinks that the business of Dasher, right? The business of Dasher, once that gets successful, everything else will fall into place. He's put such a heavy emphasis on it that it feels like every time I go to therapy, I'm having to kind of, give him a book report on everything that I've done this week, everything I haven't done this week, everything that, didn't go, how it was intended to plan, the metrics, the statistics, the view counts, the blah, blah, blah. And it honestly, it's kind of taken out the personable and the emotional aspect of the therapy to me, right? It feels more like a business meeting than an actual therapy appointment. And I think I'm a person that I can be very direct with people that I do not know, but I do have an inability being direct with people that I do know because, when you get to know people, you don't want to offend them. They provided some level of comfort or some level of support to your life and you don't really want to tear them down. And I feel like there's a way for me to tell him that, hey, I think I need a balance of emotional work as well as the business work because focusing directly on the business and every week, me not meeting whatever metrics and then him feeling away, which makes me feel, sad, dejected, despondent and stuff like that. It doesn't really put me in a conducive place for my mental health. So I think more than anything, if I don't entirely stop therapy right now, I think that I'm going to take a break from it. I'm kind of mulling over going from going each week to maybe every 2 weeks and see if that makes it better. Because if I can put another week in between when I see him, maybe I'll actually be able to make progress on some of these things. And, some of them are in my control and some of them are not, right? I can't tell you when I'm going to get successful on here, right? And then you have to honestly figure out, what does success look like to you on here, right? Is it 100,000 subscribers? Is it, 5,000 subscribers, but they're extremely engaged and we create a community? I don't know yet, but I think that YouTube, more than any other platform, has been the one that has always given me the most, not problems, but it's been the hardest to crack, right? And I think that's kind of why I pull back so much. Just like in my relationships, when I don't have the answers and I don't know what to do, I retreat inside. And I think that's what I do with the YouTube channel as well, because when things don't seem to be going my way, just regarding the metrics, the view counts, people being interested in what I'm doing, it kind of feels like a personal, not attack, but a personal affront to me, right? So I kind of have to get better in therapy of separating the personal from the business while still keeping some elements of both in there. So just like turning 34, if y'all have any suggestions in terms of what I should do regarding my therapy appointments and my therapist in general, please drop down in the comments and let me know. These vlogs may turn into my therapy appointments now. I'm already feeling lighter and better, right? And last but not least, y'all, let's talk about baby fever, okay? Because like I told y'all, I turned 34 last month. I've always wanted kids. Because I'm gay, it kind of puts it in a different perspective, because I've always known that I'm going to have to get science involved, right? Which is okay. I don't mind it. But of course, you have to have some level of success in order to kind of substantiate and to afford these kind of things. Because hell, surrogates are expensive, egg retrievals are expensive, figuring out, honestly, if I could do it in a modern family type setup where, if there are any wonderful lesbian couples in the audience who maybe want to have a baby somewhere down the road, I don't want one today, we need to start being friends, okay? We need to start being friends. We need to start getting together, okay? And putting some, one foot in front of the other, and maybe we'll figure it out, all right? But I'm getting ahead of myself. What I really want to talk about here is this. I have friends in my life that are at the stages that you're supposed to be at 34 typically, right? And I'm not saying there's any one way to do 34, but when people get up into kind of their mid 30s, either they're, dating regularly, they're in a long-term relationship, they're about to get into a long-term relationship, they might be married, they could be thinking about kids, etc. So I have a lot of friends that are dating with the intention of marriage, may have just gotten married, having babies, pregnant right now, whatever the case may be. And unfortunately, the places that they are in life have kind of affected my life in terms of my family life. So case in point, my cousin recently announced that he was having twins with his girlfriend. I think it's great. I am the type of person, I'm the type of family member that I'm always going to go up for you, okay? If you're happy about it, and this is the path for you, then I love it, okay? Like, I feel like, you're blessed in life by being a blessing to others, right? And if you can authentically be happy for someone else, happiness will find you eventually, right? So when I found out that he was having twins, I thought that was amazing, okay? But the problem came in to when my family found out that he was having twins, because then the whole conversation becomes, well, why aren't you having kids? I could go deeper in terms of sexuality and stuff like that, but it's just been the conversation of feeling like me being who I am is keeping my parents from reaching some sort of checklists in terms of their life as far as grandchildren, legacy, etc. And I just have this nagging feeling that they resent me for it, right? I've always kind of felt, since I've come out, It's really difficult that me living in my truth and me being me affects them being them so much. And I think that's really what's been bothering me about baby fever. Because, I know they don't mean to do certain things, but sometimes it gets to be too much. Case in point, because I'm dancing around the issue. Like I told you, my cousin announced that he was having twins. So they had a baby registry. I went on the registry. I bought a gift for the twins. I sent it off. Everything was good. I told my parents about the baby registry. They looked at it, and then my mom says, I have a box of baby stuff in the basement that I was saving for my own grandchildren. And she said, I'm 63 now, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to happen to me directly, but, it's good that this stuff goes to somebody else. When I tell y'all, that sentence broke me. It truly broke me, because I think any kid wants to make their parents happy. I'm not going to get emotional. I told myself I'm not going to get emotional. Any kid wants to make their parents happy. And I think what hurts sometimes when you've had such a good relationship with your parents for so many years and then something happens to kind of affect it, which was my sexuality, is just the disappointment, right? Because you kind of feel like you're letting them down in some way. And I don't like to let anybody down. But also I'm not in a position at 34 and where I am in my life to say, when I'm going to have a baby. Like, I intend to have one in the future, but me having a child right now to appease or help you, check something off your checklist, it's not productive. It truly isn't productive. So I kind of had to realize that, everybody has their own trials and tribulations, their own road they have to get on. And if her processing her potentially not being able to have grandchildren means that she has to kind of vocalize these things to me sometimes, then maybe I just have to get a thicker skin, right? So she says, I'm turning 63, or she said, I'm 63 now. I probably won't have, grandchildren the direct way. So there's some bear lamps, like I guess these little bears that are attached to this lamp, and I was saving them for my own grandchildren. I'm going to give them away to them. And part of me wanted to say something in terms of, hold on to them. One day it could happen. But then I was just like, you know what? I've just been in a space where I've been trying to keep everything together, right? I just feel like I'm on the precipice of a cliff. And if I allow myself to go over, I might not ever stop talking. So I felt like the best thing to do in that, instance was to just let it happen, right? Give the bear lamps away. Maybe you could come to some semblance of acceptance, and then maybe down in the future, 5 years, 6 years, whenever I get myself together and I'm ready to take that step, then I can surprise you, with the whole grandchild thing. But, I didn't mean for this to take such a sad turn in a sense, but honestly, with these vlogs, this is truly what I'm going through in my life right now. And I don't know if anybody out there in terms of the church community, if y'all can relate, if you're in the LGBT, community, and how it affects your relationships with your parents and your family, and as far as legacy and stuff and children go. But the honest and true nature of it is this: if I sum up everything and everywhere that I am in my life right now, I'm in no place to have a child. I'm not even settled. Okay. I'm barely, able to deal with myself most days. I'm, not living check to check essentially, but I'm in the content creation, social media content creation game, and it's very up and down. It's very volatile, right? I'm not in a committed relationship. I'm not even, on the horizon for a committed relationship. So when you sum up all those things from, finances to relationships to mental state to being ready for it, I feel like you kind of have to have a combination of those things in order to even think about having children. There's no perfect time to have them, but there damn sure are imperfect times to have them. And honestly, if I had them right now, they'd be taken care of. If you want to float me the $45,000 surrogacy fee and start paying for all these Pampers and the preschool and stuff, look, the baby can come. You gonna be raising them, okay? So if you want to raise a new child in your 60s to start back over, far be it from me to deny you, okay? In the eternal words of Sheryl Crow, if it makes you happy, it can't be that damn bad. And we gonna leave it on a happy note, because if I keep talking, I'm gonna basically go down a bad road. But I think, y'all, in terms of my first blog, that's really all I got. So if you enjoyed, give a thumbs up and join the congregation by subscribing. And until next time, y'all, stay forever young and forever juicy. I'll talk to y'all later.